Hello.
Hello, and welcome back to the SWAN Pricing Show. My name is Filip Fucic. I'm a pricing mentor.
And I'm Filip Zolota. I'm the business mentor. Welcome.
Today, we're going to talk about internal pricing policy. Because when you're selling commodities, it's mostly about the price list. You have a price list. Oh, somebody wants the yellow box, that's 20. Somebody wants the purple box, that's 80. And maybe if somebody buys 1,000, they get discount, and maybe, casas conto, this, that, or the other. But it's all really well defined, and there's nothing really that can surprise you in what a client wants, a customer wants. And that's what we call the duck pricing situation, right? The usual situation. In the SWAN case, or in the case of expertise selling service businesses, it's not that simple. There should be more principles than rules, I think, but there should be principles about what do you charge for, what don't you charge for, at what point do you charge for what, right? So we talked once about the initial analysis. So do you charge for this or don't you charge for this, and why? You should. So it's just a much more difficult situation in setting your payment, your selling system for success price-wise, right? So there should be some non-negotiables, which would include not just the monetary price, but also I don't work on weekends, and that's it, right? Unless somebody waives a considerably higher, like 4 times higher price for this, I'm not even talking about it, right? So that's a principle. Yep. Other than that, I think there should be some standardized stuff as you're doing, and there should be a way to communicate the value of some custom stuff, right? So how about non-negotiables? Let's do that first. What do you mean by non-negotiables in your pricing policy?
The non-negotiables in my pricing policy are simply terms and conditions. What can happen in respectable cases and scenarios, and what cannot happen in any way. The rules need to be out there, and also very important, which I see in a bunch of expertise-based business, and they lack, and that is a part of internal communication. Not only not having a standardized operating procedure for pricing, price-wise establishment, and communication to the audience, meaning your clients and customers, but also they do not communicate between themselves as a team. And there are gaps and discrepancies within communication. So what I saw way too often is the executive expected some specific amount because that is a part of their approach, level of complexity, etc., and the person who is communicating with the client gave additional rebate, discount, and created some crazy financial and time-wise estimate, which is way different than expected. And that is the reason, as you mentioned, why you should be having primarily internal communication system in place, operating procedure in place, and also how you communicate and handle potential objections with respect to clients and customers. Because quite often what is happening, a technical person gets involved within pricing negotiation. They're not trained to do so, and they're doing a negotiation, and they're losing constantly those games, and then somebody is being angry on the technical guy or the engineer. Oh, why you didn't do it like that? It's not his job. he was not trained, he doesn't have things in place, and he does not know how to operate and approach entire case and scenarios. And to get back to the thing you asked, considering the non-negotiables, I said, rules for the things, how they can operate. And as you mentioned, those are things and lists which we are not doing in any scenario. Some things can be done, for example, during weekends for the triple, quadruple on 10 times the price and similar stuff. But also there are rules for respectable cases which are no-go. For example, what I have fully implemented within my business, and I'm very strict about it, no urgency. Urgency is only when it is a life-threatening or a life-saving moment for our friends, colleagues, and partners. Nothing else, because people love to just translate and throw on your back their obligation or their lack of responsibility within their ecosystem or their company. So if you are accepting that as a pattern, it's a problem, because you are wasting a crazy amount of additional resources. And what often is happening, you are constantly switching priority this, priority that, priority this, priority that. So you complete something, something else isn't completed because it couldn't be done in the respectable time frame. Why this is not finished or over or prepared, whatever. Those things need to be in place. Without that, you have a crazy storm, and it is only a matter of moment when things will be going downstream.
Right. So an example of a policy is no urgency.
Yeah.
So if something is urgent, yeah, I'll be happy to refer you to somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't do urgent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we have. So when somebody asks you why, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you want my money? I'm happy to pay you 20% more for urgent. Why don't you want my money? What do you say?
Yeah, because acceptance of that would be meaning leaving behind your principles. We are not there for that specific pile of money, no matter the size and length, whatever. We are there to provide professional help and support with our partners. And if they are seeing us or anybody else who is an expert as a commodity, sorry, and bye-bye. Take care and good luck. And that's it. It's very simple.
Cool.
There are specific cases where you help and support your partner, for sure.
Of course.
We are not idiots. But the point is, the patterns should be put in order, and things like that should be happening, especially with more dynamic business niches like marketing, agencies, development. Everything is urgent. You also have a massive, completely wrong misconception and culture within the agency. Yeah. In agencies, everything is crazy busy, switching from this to that. No, I have the agency and I say no. This is not the way we are doing stuff.
Yeah.
No. That's it.
Yes, because when things are in agencies, when like people say that they are in agencies, then you eat people, you lose people, you burn out people, and then you have no people.
Yeah.
Right. So in my case, a principle would be I never do special deals on sustaining business. So if something is not growth business for me, I still do it. It's just there's no special deal for this. So there is no way in which I will do that for charity. There's no way in which I will do that for a discount or compensation or anything like this. That's not it. I can do that for growth work. That's not a problem. I have and I will, but not for sustaining work. We talked about this before. Just so sustaining work is the work that you do to pay the bills, and the growth work is basically something that contributes more than just money.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So that's a pricing policy of mine. Also, I don't really do discounts.
Same here.
So things are free because they're charity, or they're full price, and that's basically the extent of it. Because I had some really bad experiences trying out discounts, especially to people that I know. Then, if you give them a discount, why didn't you give them a bigger discount? If you give them a huge discount, well, then it's probably not really worth that much, because you can easily give such a big discount. It's a quicksand.
Yeah,
it's a quicksand. And so you gave a discount to your aunt, and how about to her husband, and then how about to her cousin, and then how about to her friend, and also the friend has a cousin as well, and Jesus, it's yeah.
Yeah, I have the same experience, especially what I often remember when I was starting business. And the situation was, awesome, you can do this for me. I'll pay you coffee, right? And then leap forward 15 years in the future, meaning today, how much does it cost? Without even thinking about propose me even to paying the coffee and similar stuff. That is also the part of experience, the chronology, and people seeing what's happening around you for sure, but also the element of positioning in your own stance towards the professional service and how you operate in general. And definitely, as you mentioned, if your colleagues, friends are around you, for me, the natural and primary thing is to help them and support them, not with asking for discounts, but paying full price or above.
Yes.
And I was always doing that and doing the same thing today, because I'm no discount guy, the same as you. And what I don't want to experience, I'm not doing to other people. And there you'll see on the market in general, big discrepancy. People are so proud of their principles, etc., when we are talking about them, but 2 steps forward and they forgot everything what they said 2 minutes ago, because it's their skin in the game. So
yeah. What I would also say is my pricing principle is I don't ever propose things which I would be sorry if people said yes. So I recently had on my other podcast, I had a guy who co-wrote the book with me, so Klaus Rasted, and he had a moment where he was talking to somebody in the Middle East, and he said, this I think it was royalties, doesn't really matter. This can be 10%, this can be as low as 5%. Look, we can go with 0 if you really want us to go with 0. And the guy said, okay, 0, moving on. And he said that was I was being an idiot because that never backfired on me before, right? Mm-hmm. When you do the right thing, people usually do the right thing right back. Mm-hmm. But as a matter of policy, actually both in my private life and my professional one, I don't do courtesy offers. Mm-hmm. So offers which I'm counting on the other side not being impolite and accepting, right? So if I offer you the last cookie, I want you to have the last cookie. It's not like, no, I couldn't possibly, and then we have this awkward little dance, and no. So in my business as well, if I offer something to someone, so I had a client who wanted some additional services but couldn't pay for them right now, and I said, okay, I'm happy to lower the price for an amount for each client that you get me. Mm-hmm. with directly, right? And she said, oh, I wouldn't like to take advantage of you. No, you wouldn't be. That's why I proposed it. If that was taking advantage of me, I would have never proposed exactly. It, right? because it's a lot of effort and a lot of time that you're saving me here, and I would rather have that time than the amount of money from your wallet, because I would like money, yes, but it doesn't have to be yours coming from you.
Yeah.
So if you get me other people's money and they get their value back, I don't care. So this is something that people get wrong in negotiations very often. They think we're on opposite sides because I would like to pay you as little as possible and you want as much as possible. And you do want as much as possible, but it doesn't have to be my money. Yeah. You don't care whose wallet it comes out of, right? So we're not actually, in many cases, on opposite sides.
Exactly, and you got definitely a great point. I spoke with several of my colleagues and friends these days, especially about that, how people are kind of strict in terms of approach. You can close an amazing deal, meaning without the direct transaction with the person you're communicating. Okay, they don't have a budget and similar, but they can do a favor. They can, as you mentioned, find a respectable person who can actually pay you. And then there we can be created a cool symbiosis and two-way communication, respecting each other and establish a long-term relationship, friendship, and partnership. Things don't need to be closed. It's 1 or 0. So, I don't have money. Sorry, thank you. Bye-bye. It's why?
Yeah, it's not a zero-sum game.
Also, people that conversation, they expect for it to be, and sales overall, as the process and communication, expect to be awkward and something ugly. No, it's beautiful if you create that ecosystem and outline, adequate outline for it, where you are open enough to several options. Okay, I have not so long ago one crazy proposal from one big rent-a-car agency. They came to us, we would need your help and support. We saw what you were doing. It's amazing, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, we are interested in compensation. If you want to take some of our cars, I said, sorry, I have a car. My colleagues have a car. Some of them have 2 cars, and we don't need cars. If we'll need, we'll pay for the for the car renting from you. But please, let's focus on other things. Or if you don't have the adequate amount for this first iteration, budget-wise, we can define the scope, reduce it, or you can make some of the favor for us. Yeah, we need to push that to the board, blah, blah. Okay, thank you, bye-bye. What's the point? People are overly strict and focused on small possible wins on the table, and you have a blast of opportunities which you can fully utilize long term.
Yes. So you said it can be beautiful as long as there's respect on both sides. And very often there's not. People are afraid of their clients and they're contemptuous toward people with small companies. But like David Baker says, I would have had to hire people if I didn't work so damn hard to not have to. I'm not small because my company is not small because I can't grow it. Because it's small because I'm able not to.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's the point where people misunderstand the approach. Nowadays, you have so many professionals, experts, solopreneurs who are, and I am quite often taking even in my consultancy session and mentorship, cool examples. When a one-man band earns like 100 million, company with I don't know which amount of people being employed there, and that is a matter of decision, not somebody can or somebody cannot, as you say. That is very important to understand. In the end, we don't have the same triggers. Somebody wants to have a big team. Somebody wants to have up to 5 people in a team and do specific type of projects.
I want to have 0 people in my team. Thank you.
Exactly. That is subjective. It's your decision. It's your path. You have your goals, and that's it. And that doesn't have anything with your capability of being successful earning money and doing an amazing things and generating an amazing value for others.
Yes, I agree. What I wanted to say is, with respect, people are going to respect you more if you have pricing policies. If you say, you know, yes, that part is non-negotiable. Yes, I know you have 200 people. Yes, I know you have more lawyers than I have friends. That's fine. Still, no means no, right? No, we're not doing that. That is not going to happen. That's a principle of ours. That's a rule, and that is not good for you, and it's not good for me. And I know why it's not good for both you and me. You can trust me, or we can get into that, but that's not happening, right? So being a doormat never gets you respect.
Absolutely.
So having the pricing policies for the sake of having them is probably not good, but it's a different thing when you're trying to get a customer happy, when you basically know as much as the customer about what they're buying. This is not the situation that we're talking about. Here, you can have clients who really, really, really want something that they really, really, really don't need. So there's an example from another guest who is security based, and he says clients physical security, and he says clients really want you to go through the camera footage, hours and hours and hours and hours of camera footage. And nowadays there's a better way of assessing these things, but they want that. And as long as they're charging by the hour, usually the security firm said, oh yes, absolutely, we simply have to go through how many hours of footage are there. Yes, okay, definitely, right? And the client wants that, and you say, it's unethical, but hey, you say, okay, I'm going to do that. You don't need that, but I'm going to do that. It's better, in my view, it's better for both you and the client to say, yeah, that's how we used to do it in the 20th century. However, today we have these methods which are better and require less time, right? So I'm not saying charge them less. I'm just saying don't go toward the something that they don't need. Give them, for that money, give them something better, much better and quicker, right? So that's, I think that's also a principle. So I'll try to recap a bit. We wanted to talk about pricing policies in general because it's a way less simple situation than with duck pricing. With commodities, everything is very predictable. Everything is always the same. There's basically no difference between somebody buying electric bike number X02 if they're a company or a natural person, if they're old or young, if they come in, they give money, they get product, they go out. Our clients are different. Each and every one of them is different. And even if they buy the same service, when I do my deep dive, I'm not going to talk about the same things in the same way to two different clients. That's never happened. So I know, I record them, I watch them. They're always different. They're always useful. They always result in a person getting a higher price tag out of it, but the way in which we come to that is always different. So our clients differ, and our pricing policies should reflect that, and not the situation where every buyer is a buyer. It's just, how many did he buy is the only question that is relevant, and we have so many more. One of them is are they in a hurry? because somebody wanting to buy a bike in a hurry and somebody not wanting to buy bike in a hurry, they're almost the same. It's down to the cashier, if that's going to be something. And somebody in a hurry to get something out of a marketing agency, that's a whole different thing, right? And it involves people burning out and not sleeping, and so that's a huge difference, right? So our pricing policies need to be able to reflect that. Are there any caveats on pricing policies that you can think of? So what shouldn't be done in that case?
Sorry, what should?
So what shouldn't be done? Some don'ts.
Okay. Definitely, first and primary don't is not having a policy.
Not what I meant, but yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Granted.
Except that one. Except that one. What shouldn't? I'll need to think about it more, but there are things which cannot be, which shouldn't be placed there. Practically a set of semi-rules, practically a guidances, how to manage, handle, and tackle with specific situations, because you cannot have one size fits all.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, not only project scope-wise, but also in terms of communication, alignment, and specific situation in which you can be encountered with your respectable client and customers. So having a policy, having an approach, thumbs up, but also be very strict about the things that you practically look like some dumbass that is completely wrong. And in the end, people won't be seeing you as a trusted advisor the way they should look at you because of that specific cases and scenarios. And that also depends from respectable niche and business scope and services, expertise services your company is providing. So I'm sure that every company we encounter with, you for your business, me for my business, can make specific dedicated cases of those no-goes in terms of pricing policy, and then afterwards make something as a global standard. But always it is always bespoke in terms of the approach, because also very important thing is pricing structure of the policy, as with other things in terms of communication and everything, things need to be aligned, and your value should be reflected through all the policies of your company. If you have a problem with consistency, people will be seeing you as a joker or somebody who is good enough to sell their service, but not good enough to deploy or deliver professional expertise service. And that is very important. Consistency in the end is the one which is helping you, supporting you, and winning over the price and the money amount somebody needs to put in your pocket for your professional service.
Yeah. So like you said, apart from not having them, I think one caveat is not to be afraid to simply stand your ground, to say, yeah, that's because that's how we work. So Philip, why don't you take fast people who are in a hurry? Wouldn't you make more money like that? At the end, no, but also none of your business.
Yeah.
So over explaining never works.
Yeah.
And it's completely fine to be happy to refer it to somebody else, to defer business to somebody else, and I'm sure you have that solved. So if you come by somebody and they're in a big hurry, you're not going to send them into the darkness. You're going to say, okay, I'm going to give you somebody else. somebody who likes doing that, somebody who likes a challenge, somebody who has a bigger firm and with people on standby, somebody who is just starting out and would rather have that than nothing. There's always something. Cool. I think we chewed through this
Pretty much
thoroughly. Where can people find you?
People can find me on LinkedIn and my consultancy mentorship page, philipzolota.com.
Right. People can find me mainly on LinkedIn, but also YouTube and TikTok. And of course, fearless-pricing.com. Right. This was great. See you next week.
Take care and see you. Bye-bye.